Hey guys, and I want to welcome you to Leadership and Quality. My name is Dr. Angela Jones. Most people call me Angie, and that's fine. Let me give you a little bit about my background. I have a 4-year in accounting. I have an MBA from Webster University, and I also have a doctorate of business administration with a concentration in management that I finished a couple of years ago. So, the doctoral journey, I learned a lot about behaviors, and so I am super excited about teaching leadership. My dissertation was in change and its resistance and communication effect on resistance. So, anyway, I learned a whole lot, and I want to welcome all of you guys here. This is going to seem kind of elementary because what I've done on this first seminar is I've taken content from NAU's website so I can explain some things to you guys and make sure you understand how this process has to work and what we need to do to pass this class. So, these are our learning activities, and of course, they're on there for you to see as well. You know, of course, participate in discussions. We'll talk a little bit about the participation policy in a later slide. The scavenger hunt, I know a lot of you guys have asked questions. I'm going to show you where to find that. We also want to complete the does goals setting fit your management style? And that's on page 217. Anyway, let's move on. You're going to view the LP1 seminar, which is what you're doing now. You're going to read the pages 169 through 172, citations with quotations in the APA manual. And guys, I do want to stress, and I'll probably stress it again, the APA is just a reference. You're going to use it like you do a dictionary. So do not try to sit down and read this thing cover to cover because it can get confusing. You want to pay special attention to the sections on paraphrasing, plagiarism, and quotations under research and documentation in the Business Writer's Handbook. This book is very reader friendly. You need to use the table of contents to navigate your way to see what you need. Again, this is not something you really need to read cover to cover. Use it as you see fit. You're going to also need to attend the live sessions with Dr. Salidas, the fundamentals of APA. And guys, I need to stress to you, you need to do this, and you need to do it every week because the way it's set up is to help you with your assignments each week. If you cannot attend a live session, you can view the archive recordings, and you can also get some tutoring as well. Okay, so we're going to need to read the LP52 reflections assignments. You have to meet with your advisor for a weekly call. The purpose of these calls is to provide you tools and support to be successful. I want to reiterate that these are not extra point credits or points. If you do not complete all these calls, you will lose points at the end. There are 10 scheduled calls. There's no time requirements. If you're comfortable with the classroom and you're doing well, your call may last 2 minutes. If you're struggling, your call could last 30 minutes. Your advisor will work with you to set up a regular time for your appointments. If you cannot attend during NAU's office hours, they will set one up with me during a time that's more convenient. But I need you guys to try to do it with your advisors. If I have 40 people I have to do calls with a week, that can get a little crazy. So anyway, if you're unable to make your weekly appointments, you have to reschedule during that same week. If your call does not happen during that week, you cannot make it up the following week. Now, you can make up one missed call in week 11. Okay, so let's talk about LP1 assignment. So in this assignment, we're going to consider historical figures who are commonly considered strong leaders. They can come from politics, military, academia, sports, the arts. You choose one leader and write a 750 plus word persuasive essay explaining why this figure is an example of strong leadership. And guys, I want to tell you this. It doesn't have to be a good person. You know, Martin Luther King Jr. was a strong leader and a great person. But if you look at the flip side of it, Hitler was also a great leader. Terrible person, that's a given. But for him to be able to convince thousands of people to carry out the acts that they did, he is definitely a strong and successful leader. So I would like to see you guys mix it up a little bit, some of you. And, you know, write on somebody that's not necessarily a good person, but was an effective leader. And when you're doing this, when we say persuasive, you need to assume that the audience does not know who this person is. So you're going to give a brief biography. What were his or her goals? What did he or she accomplish? Don't get bogged down in details, but paint enough of a picture that we can catch on. You need to provide at least 3 leadership skills that the leader has demonstrated and provide examples of how he or she used them to affect a particular goal. You also want to persuade the reader or myself of your opinion. Show the reader why this figure personifies strong leadership. And then you're going to select at least 2 qualities that the figure possessed that you'd like to see in yourself when you graduate. Now, I know that's tough to do when you think about Hitler, but again, he was definitely an effective leader. Terrible person? Yes. So, let's see. My thing don't want to move, okay? All right, the graduate writing assistance learning activities. Okay. So this will be found in your writing lab. It should be a tab in your classroom. If you do not have this, please contact your advisor as soon as possible so they can give you access to this. And when you go into the orientation, you'll find this. And these are little short videos that walks you through how to navigate the classroom, how to use the content map. It talks about discussions, how to upload assignments, and avoiding plagiarism and Turnitin. Now, most of you guys might be new to Turnitin. I can tell you it can be your friend or it can be a nightmare. So you definitely need to do this orientation. Then you'll need to read the expectations document. Okay, so now we're going to get to the scavenger hunt, and you're going to find the scavenger hunt on that same page. This is actually copied and pasted from NAU's website. It is right underneath the orientation. So it's the scavenger hunt. You'll email me your assignment. Let me go to the next slide because it actually shows the scavenger hunt. Okay, so this is a scavenger hunt, and what you're going to do is you're going to describe turning in. What is it? How does it work? How do students use or access it? And what is the maximum similarity score allowed and why? Then you're going to explain discussion assignments. How many feedback posts are required to maximize your participation grade? How frequently you must post? And what is the penalty for not posting frequently enough? You're going to describe the late work policy for the graduate program. Where did you find it in the classroom? If an assignment is 3 days late, what's the late penalty? You're also going to be finding things in D2L, such as the grade book, discussions, and the class list. And then using the expectations document, you're going to explain where to find it in the classroom. And if you only meet the assignment requirements, what kind of grade can you expect to earn? There's also a scenario to where I'll post a comment. There was a time when the movie industry was the place to be if you wanted to work in entertainment. However, in recent years, television has become the more dominant entertainment medium. What economic effect might this have on the movie industry? So if you answer, I don't think it will at all, that money will just stay in Hollywood with big studios. That's not good enough. We need a detailed answer. One that provides future discussion or it leads to somewhere. Don't just, make a little comment. You need to give me some details. Okay, discussion board. Let's talk about that in a few minutes. NAU strives to improve the quality of these programs and experiences. So they're placing a greater emphasis on discussion board participation for all classes. Discussion boards are meant to be discussions, just like a live classroom would be if you're sitting around a round table discussing with your classmates. So that's kind of, NAU's take on it. The more active the discussion, the greater potential for the exchange of ideas and information. The less a student posts, the less they contribute to the discussion. The more they post, the more they contribute, and that will affect your grade. So the discussion board policies are intended to encourage and reward greater contributions to the discussion boards, to provide consistency across the program, to improve the flow of information between students and instructors, and to hone written communication skills, and of course to better prepare students for their future career. So again, having said that, with a discussion board, you can't just say, oh wow, Emily, that was a great discussion. I learned a lot. You've got to move the conversation forward. You've got to add something new to it. There's also deadlines. All main posts within the given learning plan will be due in the first half of the learning plan. So what that means is class started on Tuesday, so Sunday night your main discussion post will be due. Any main post left after the deadline will be assessed a 10% penalty, a 10% late penalty per day. Participation and feedback can be left on any day during the learning plan. So you have basically the whole 2 weeks to do participation and feedback. Frequency of posting, students must on at least 3 different days in an LP. You have to do a post, participation and feedback, or there's a 10% penalty. And those 3 days may not all be in the same week. Okay, so more about discussion boards. Okay, so all postings should be free of errors. This is what they're for. You're actually kind of trying to hone your writing skills with doing these posts. So they're a great place to practice your writing and exposition skills. Points will be deducted for those type of errors. And I guess I'm going to have to stop doing the laugh out loud when I laugh at you guys. But anyway, posting is where learners take what other learners have posted, cut and paste, and submit it as their own. Guys, I cannot stress to you enough, do not cut and paste. Do not copy and paste. It's just unacceptable in graduate work. Your discussion posting should include all references, posted in accordance with the APA Manual 6th edition. Posting should be academic in nature and tone with proper attribute. We can have healthy debates, even if it's a political subject or things like that, but we want to keep the content healthy, so to speak. So, and the last little bullet point just tells you kind of how to, when you do your original post, how to title it so I know it's your original post and it doesn't get mixed into all the other discussion and participation comments. Okay, so LP seminars, which is what we're doing now. Each class will have a recorded seminar associated with each learning plan. They will include guidance on assignments as well as instruction on relevant content to help students master the learning objectives. Okay, and so what we're going to do, and this is of course an archive recording. You guys will be able to pull it up anytime. You can watch it 1 time or you can watch it 10 times. If we decide to do a live recording and all classmates can't be present, that's okay because they're going to be recorded too. So you'll be able to go back and see those as well, because I know that some students have a conflict with that already. So the assessment will be due by the last day of the learning plan and should be submitted to the Dropbox. And there is a Dropbox designated for the LP seminar. Assessments that are not submitted by the last day of class will not be graded, and there are no makeups. Okay, and here, faculty members, we try to hold office hours in Adobe Connect to give you students, time to interface with us and talk to us. I haven't set those hours yet because I really need to see what works for you guys, your work assignment. I don't want to be sitting in Adobe Connect on a Tuesday from 5 to 8 with nobody to talk to. So we'll kind of work that out as we go along. Okay, now here's some helpful resources. You've got noodletools.com. These resources are really good for the citations and APA. Grammarly.com, I really like. It's free. I actually went into it today, and you can click on APA, click the tab on whether it's a book, whether it's a research article, and it will help you do your citations, and it is absolutely wonderful. I wish I had this when I was in school. So the writing lab, you must attend the orientation, guys. This classroom can be so confusing if you do not have the tools and the training to navigate it. You need to spend time on your work, not navigating the classroom. So, and some of you have already asked the questions about attending the APA trainings every week. You need to attend them every week because each week aligns with your assignments. And you're even going to have one with an outline. A lot of people don't like outlines, but trust me, when you get into detailed long writing, you're going to need an outline. Outlines help. So don't get frustrated with what you have to do. Trust me, you're going to need all this stuff later on. And another little hint I want to give you guys is do not include instructions when using Turnitin. It will increase your similarity score. And when I say increase it, I mean it can really increase it to the point where your work is not even acceptable. And what happens is, yes, I can go in and look at the percentage of what's been copied from NAU, But when the deans or anybody else who comes in a classroom and looks and sees your similarity score at 40%, I mean, they're going to have to go in it, you know, and you're going to be under a flag. So the best thing to do is not include the instructions and make sure that similarity index is 20% or below. That keeps you safe, because plagiarism is a serious, serious offense. I know that my school had a no tolerance policy. So if I forgot to cite a source, or, I mean, we could have been kicked out of school on first happening. So you've got to be really careful with that. Okay, so I've also want to put this up here for you guys to see. It's a APA. I got this from al.english.purdue.edu, and this is just an example of the APA 6th edition in an actual writing. Here it tells you how the title should summarize the paper's main idea. You got your running head. And if you'll look, the green text boxes contain the explanations of APA style guidelines, and the blue box contains directions for writing and citing in APA style. So, here, like in the blue box, it tells you your title should be centered and 12-point Times New Roman font. It should not be bolded, underlined, or italics. The running head cannot exceed 50 characters. I actually probably need to try to email this to you guys so you'll have it where you can kind of look at it, because this is a pretty good template. And so you'll see here where the author note should appear on printed articles and identifies each author's department. Let's see, we'll get into more author notes a little bit later. Let's see, it explains what an abstract is. It should be centered and typed in 12-point Times New Roman. Do not indent the first line of the abstract paragraph. The abstract is just a brief summary of the paper, allowing readers to quickly review the main points and the purpose of a paper. And see, that's what I do when I do research and I'm looking for a paper. I read the abstract first to make sure that it aligns with what I'm looking for. It also tells you the abstract should be between 150 and 250 words. And trust me, guys, in the writing lab, the APA training, you're going to get a lot more than just what I'm showing you here. This is just kind of a brief little thing that I wanted to show you on what it's supposed to look like, because APA can be really tricky. And so you can see the little source in the green box to your left where I got this. And that tells you the title of the paper is centered, should not be bolded. And if an article has 3 to 5 authors, you write out all of the author's name the first time, then use the first author's last name followed by et al. And I know I have an accent. I'm from South Carolina, so I know you guys are laughing, but that's okay. Okay, and see, APA requires you to include the publication year because APA users are concerned with the date of the article. The more current, the better. And some schools are different. I know when I did my dissertation, I'm pretty sure it was 7 years. We couldn't go past 7 years. I think some schools are 10, but I've actually heard of some schools being 5. So the more current the article, the better. Then it tells you about your citations. I'll try to email this to you guys. And then you use an appendix to provide brief content that supplements your paper, but it's not directly related to your text. And if you are including an appendix, you need to refer to it in the body of your paper. And you guys will learn a lot more about this later, because I think in my dissertation, I went all the way just about through the alphabet with appendixes. So, and then you go to the discussion. And then you go to a limitation section, because all research has limitations, so it's important to discuss them. And then it tells you your headings. And then conclusions and future research. And then, of course, your references. And guys, these things can be difficult. Oh my goodness, I can't tell you how many times I had to edit my references, even though I knew APA, but one little period where it's not supposed to be will throw everything off. And the thing about it is even in doctoral research, when you hire an editor, you still have to have it in APA format. So you've still got to know a lot about APA and how to do it, because, I mean, they're not going to fix everything for you. And then it tells you, start the reference page, of course, on a brand new page. And then you're going to get to some of the appendixes. They're all on a brand new page. Tells you how to do the paragraphs, and then it's tables. Of course, you do A1 and so forth. And then here's a graph. Appendix B, see it's on a total separate page. So I just wanted to show you guys that. I'll try to email that. I'm not sure if you'll really actually need it with the APA training, but anyway, listen, you guys, I look forward to this class. I love leadership. I love behaviors. I have so many experiences in leadership. I currently, I'm over 41 people, and it doesn't seem like much, but it's really a lot when you're dealing with people of different backgrounds, cultures, behaviors. It's actually intriguing. And, you know, even though I'm finished my doctorate degree, I do a lot of research to try to understand why things happen in workplaces. So I think I can help you guys and give you a lot of insight. And I do want to say I'm very accessible to the students. You won't fail this class because you can't get up with me. I am usually back to you within 2 or 3 hours, unless I'm on the road driving. So anyway, guys, I wish you the best of luck. If you have any questions, you know, my numbers, and you've got my email. My numbers are on our information board in the classroom. So anything you guys need, don't hesitate to ask, and we'll get through it together. Thanks.